All right, Garage Bros, I got another fancy chair. So I'm sitting on my fancy Vyper chair. I'm gonna build a fancy Vyper chair, and we'll talk about the differences, show you how to put this together real quickly, or usually in my case, long and drawn out, but we'll see how it goes. But we're carrying our own version of the, what do they call this thing? They call it Robust Steel Pro, but really it's the fixed chair. So the chair I'm on now, we can adjust the height. This chair is a fixed version of it. Now, we'll talk a little bit about it as we put this together and unbox it, but I think you want the chair that's not fixed, but this saves you a few bucks, a little less expensive. And if you're not doing a lot of intricate detailing and trying to get really down low on the car, then it might be easier for you to just go fixed and stay with it. So our black base. So this is our tool tray. There's a little Vyper chair, a little logo thing on there. These guys have their boxing on point, man. Then we have black, so I chose to do black because the normal color is red with black. This is going to be black on black with, I think it says blue stitching. At least that's what I asked for. Let's see what we got. So we got 5 of the 4-inch, really freaking awesome casters. That's what's so cool about these things. Then we have all of our zinc plated hardware right here. Can't wait to get my garage put together. So I'm not dealing with all this, it's all shadowy and dark in here. I do have my mounter and balancer up and running though. That was a fun experience this weekend doing that for the first time. We have our uprights, which we did in black. So I think we're the only ones that have this in black, but who knows? Vyper Chair's got these things all over the place. So I requested that we make a OG version of this. So we do have these generally in stock. I gotta start carrying a knife around. You know what? I've got a knife. Right here. In my fancy cabinets. So, these chairs are one of those things that are kind of polarizing and that people get really bent out of shape. Like, how could you spend 400 bucks on a chair? Think about your office chairs. Think about, chairs. Like, if you buy like nice bar stools for your kitchen, $4, $5, $6, $800,000 a piece. If you're used to shopping at a Target for your seating, you're not going to like this. But if you've started to upgrade your life a bit, you'll start to notice that quality seating costs a lot. And if you do get your hands on one of these or you sit on one, you'll know that these, I don't know that these are going to last forever. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I would think the cushion would be the thing that would wear out over time. But this is something that you're going to buy once and have for a really long time. And even if you are abusive to your seating, your chairs, probably still going to hold up to that. You see Alex making videos dropping it off his roof. Yeah, so there's a blue stitching. So blue and black uprights, I think that's the way to go. Sounds like I got to get some. I like to leave my chair, I like to leave it so that it turns. I got to get some, you do have to lubricate it from every now and then. It's probably not a good advertisement, Vyper Chair advertisement, to have a squeaky chair when you're building the other chair. There we go. No more squeak. All right, so we'll put this all together loosely. You can watch this video, you can read the instructions if you want. I don't think you really need that. It's pretty self-explanatory on how to put this together. So there's our bolts for our wheels. Here's our bolts for our sections, our upright sections. The very first chair I bought the robust aluminum, the big aluminum max. The bottom footrest was too big. It was really big. It was 23 inches. Or 26 inches maybe, and these are 23 or something like that. It's 3 inches bigger. And then these are the bolts for the seat. So we'll just put it together loosely, and then we'll tack it all down think that looks good. This is one of those products, I talked about this when I built the OG version of the regular stool. This is one of those things that's not built to a price point. It's built to what it needs to be built to, and then they back in the cost, you know? And that's where people get so angry, freaked out about the price. It's like they're gonna build a chair that they want for themselves, and then whatever that costs, that's the way it's gonna work. So it costs them X amount. They have a certain amount of labor. I'm sure they calculated how much labor and time it takes to build the manufacture the thing. They have to make the decision, are we gonna build this overseas or are we gonna build it in the US? These are all made in the US, which obviously is gonna add another layer of cost. And then they have the raw materials, you know, what do the materials cost? And then you add that all up, and then you say, okay, I want a certain margin. They have to decide, are they gonna sell these wholesale at all through guys like me, which I talked them into, and I'm taking credit for that. Now Adam and Rag Company and all those guys, they all sell it too, but in the beginning, they were only gonna sell them direct, and I talked them into selling it to me, and I'm gonna take credit for that. So now they figured out how to, you know, what margins do they need in order to be able to sell it wholesale as well as retail, and then you create a price. You know, add a margin to it and create a price, and that's basically how it works. And so when you do that, the disadvantage is when you're not building something to a price point, it gets, you know, it can get expensive. You know, things like choosing the zinc-plated hardware is a choice. You say, well, we could keep the cost down another $10 or something like that if we did different hardware. But most of the time, most companies, they back in the they choose the price and then they make the product, whatever the product can be, or whatever they hope it can be. How's it going?
Hey, I don't want to disturb you. I thought you were filming.
That's what we do. I'm unshakable. All right, so let's keep rolling through. That's what's so cool about this place. I'm telling you, we, you know, people are always coming to check it out and visit from elsewhere, and I'd like to have an open door policy. Come on in. I'm cheating because I have the red version of this I already put together, so that's why it's going a little smoother than normal. This is always my argument when you're let's say you're a mechanic, you work on VWs all day, then you learn tricks and you learn speed. Well, I'm always dealing with new stuff and doing it on camera. Plus, I'm blessed with a mediocre mechanical skill set. So, put our base on. So there are threaded inserts on the seat, which is nice. Versus, you know, a lot of stools or a lot of chairs, you would just blow a wood screw through the base, which of course, if you ever took it apart, you know, wouldn't go back together the same. You probably end up stripping it out and have to rotate it around. This has a nice threaded insert that should last forever. Again, those are little decisions that they have to make. Say, well, that adds another X amount of dollars to the cost. Dang, that looks way better, doesn't it? Oh shoot, I don't like that. The little emblems here, I want to turn the top. Yeah, see? God. All right, I'm not doing this anymore. Vyper chair on top of Vyper chair. Make sure that looks the way I want it to look. Yeah, so see, this is when you know. They set the logo up a certain way, so now it matches up with the way that the chair is gonna point with the little insignia right there. That's legit. You should flip it over on your workbench. I just don't want to scratch my fancy leather. Jeez. Out of pure laziness, I'm not walking next door to get what I need. I've got this sitting here. A little fancy 3/8 drive set here. The only issue is I'm gonna have to go over there anyway. God dang it. Ooh, that looks way better in that color, doesn't it, than the red one? Looks way better. So there's the red one. Yeah. All right, 13, 10, 19. Telling you, it'd be way easier if I didn't try to do this on camera. Stubby. I can't see. The things I do for you people on camera. Ugh. Makes everything so much harder. I try to stay in frame. This is why I built an unboxing studio, but the unboxing guys, Mike has it filled with a bunch of garbage and I can't get in there. There's no, the table's got stuff all over. It's like my mother-in-law. She's got freaking stuff on they have like all these tables with stuff on the tables. Like, how about you take stuff off the table so you can use the table? Put it in a freaking cabinet. I've given up worrying about that. And my 10 mil. Righty tighty, lefty loosey, folks. I would err on the side of not going super tight on the this top here, because you'll pull the threaded insert right out. Although I'm sure those guys probably thought of that. I don't want to risk it. Once these all tighten down, I haven't to date. I guess I've got I've got like 6 of these different Vyper chairs all over the place. I haven't had to tighten retighten any of them. Once you tighten it, they stay tight. Boom. That's the OG version of the, what are we calling this thing again? Robust. I got too many names. Robust Steel Pro. The one I'm on here, I think, is the Robust Steel Max. And the question is, how close is this? So if you look at the seat height right now, I've had this seat height a little taller than what I had here. So the adjustability of this is my preference. But I do like the tool tray on this better than I do on this one. You know, I talked about in the original video, if you watched it, that this could be an Achilles killer. And if you aren't careful, you certainly could chop your Achilles open. I haven't had that happen, so I was probably just nitpicking, looking for issues and that aren't really there. But this tool tray is protected around the edge. This chair is quite a bit lighter. So that is another advantage, is it doesn't have as much weight to it. Yeah, I mean, it's a good 25% lighter. And I don't know, I think if you could have both, I mean, it's probably good to have both of them around, but if you could have only one, I think I would choose the more expensive guy with the, with the foot rest, the footstool, because you can rest your feet on there, but it's not as comfortable, and you're gonna beat up that powder coating over time. But you can see, I think it's a pretty nice alternative. Again, I would probably buy this one I'm sitting on over that, but it did make sense. I've been rolling around on the red one. It is nice to have one of each around, in an environment like this where I've got, a lot of room, a lot of space. So I think both make sense. Anyway, that's the Vyper chair, and you can get it at obsessedgarage.com with the black uprights and blue stitching, and we generally have them in stock. So that's how you build it, fumbling and all. So if you take the fumbling out, you can build it in 10 minutes or so, maybe even less if you actually did it on the workbench without trying to stay in front of the camera. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you soon. Appreciate your support.